5. Maseches Bava Metzia Daf Nun Daled Amud Aleph. Yay! An amazing, beautiful shiur ahead of us in Metzia Hashem. Easy Amud, really, really easy Amud to compensate prize for all of you who survived it till now. Really easy Amud, seriously. So let's now start from where we finished off. Iboy Lehu. Iboy Lehu is in the Nundalu the Mudalif of Metzia 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 10 or so lines from bottom, from the top of the page. Keren. Line starts with Keren. Iboy Lehu. So the question we have, the topic that we talk about now is Ma'aser Sheni, and we know that Ma'aser Sheni, if the person is poide his own Ma'aser Sheni, what does that mean? I have Ma'aser Sheni fruit, 10 out of, let's say, 100. It's actually 9 out of 100 in the chomesh. I have my, let's say, 9 lemons, which I really should take to Yerushalayim, but it's too heavy or too shmevi or tome. What do I do with it? I redeem it on what? On coins, on money. Now, you also have to redeem how much? Let's say your lemons are worth 20 shekels. Then how much should the coin be? 25. In other words, when we say chomesh, what does it really mean? We don't add another lemon. We add the value. And we said the value should really be fourth, not fifth. Fifth milebar, excuse me. And therefore, if the lemons are worth 20, or whatever's worth 20, or the grapes, or the Ma'aser Sheni of whichever, then I have to really redeem it on a bigger coin to cover the actual value of the fruit, plus a fifth, which is really a fourth. So the coin has to be 25, a value, let's say. So now the question is as follows. Iboilu, question is like this. Chomesh me'akev or einoi me'akev. Let's say the person was mechalel 20 for 20, and he did not yet relate to the chomesh. He didn't do anything with the chomesh, which means he was only mechalel 20 for 20, and he ignored the chomesh. He did not add the necessary chomesh. Is it me'akev or not? What does me'akev mean? Me'akev means, is that something you can't go ahead without, right? That's me'akev in halacha, right? No. Me'akev in halacha doesn't, it prevents you. Me'akev means obligatory, necessary, that you can't do without, which means, that's me'akev. Me'akev means like it's a necessary step which you can't do without. It's holding you from continuing, which in simple language means, can I now eat the lemons? Are the lemons now kedusha free, and I can eat them in bechemesh, in my tea, or maybe not, or maybe because the chomesh wasn't yet given, it's a part and parcel of the deal, and without the chomesh being given on the coins, then I cannot go on, I cannot continue, and I cannot eat the lemons. The kedusha is still there until I give the last penny of the chomesh as well. And the Gemara now explains the question. The Gemara elaborates on this very question, on how do you view chomesh? What's the view of the Torah of chomesh? It's a very lomdisha question. Do we say daled bedaled porik ve'akenaf shemoisif chomesh? Do we say the actual value, let's say 4 for 4, I told you 20, it doesn't make a difference. Let's say the value is 4, then the actual value itself of the fruit is been given for the actual value, porik, that's one thing. Akenafshe means by itself, separately moisif chomesh. The chomesh is a separate cheshbon. Do we have keren, the principal, the basic amount, plus chomesh separately? Alma chomesh loy me'akev. That is to say, chomesh is not me'akev. Chomesh, what does it mean loy me'akev? Chomesh does not actually impede me from continuing. That's a word. It doesn't impede me from continuing. It's not a hurdle in my way. The peiros are kedusha free. The kedusha is pada, is mechulal in the coin. The chomesh is a separate ma'aseh. Now, by the way, good people, of course, the chomesh eventually I'll have to give. Nundala de Mudalef, we're about 12 or 13 lines from the top of the page. Line starts with the word alma. Alma. Okay? Which means, do we say the chomesh is a separate cheshbon? I owe it. You owe money to the mortgage, you owe money to the bank. Mazeh kashur. But Lamaisi, the kedusha is free. The kedusha was removed. Oidilma, or maybe comes the other explanation, the other side. Oidilma arba b'chamisha porik. No, it's all one part and parcel. It's all one package deal. 4 is given for 5, which or 20 for 25, which means the chomesh is not a separate cheshbon. It's not like the VAT. It's part of the actual price that the Torah places on the fruit, and therefore the chomesh me'akev. It's part of the basic amount. So as long as you didn't actually place the chomesh, needless to say, the Karen, even the chomesh on the new coins, then nothing really happened. Don't touch the fruit. You can't eat them. By the way, Rashi here actually tells us for the first time I connected the psukim. Rashi says, "What's a big problem? What would happen to me if I eat Meiser Sheni that's not mechulal, Meiser Sheni fruit that have Meiser Sheni holiness and kedusha? If I eat it in Ramat Bet Shemesh or Afula or Ramagan, what would happen to me then? It's not misa, but you over on a lav doraisa." Loitucha lechol bisharecha masad gancha tiroshcha vitzorecha, says the Torah in Parshas Re'eh, somewhere around there. Yud Beis Yudalad around there in Dvorim. Yeah, you're not allowed to eat. Loitucha means you can't, meaning you're not allowed to eat the meiser bishorecha, in your gates, which means anywhere outside Yerushalayim. Now, so that's a question we have. Now we have to look at Tosfos. We have to see this Tosfos. I saw this Tosfos. Can't say I almost fainted, but I almost fainted. Like I was very, very surprised to see this Tosfos. And Chavrus and I, we looked at the Rambam. We have to see this Tosfos. Yeah, we're holding the Omar Ravina. So hold your finger in Omar Ravina and go to the first Tosfos. Yeah, Frek Tosfos as follows. What did we just say a minute ago? Maybe chomesh is part and parcel of the basic amount. If my lemons are worth 20 and I was mechalel them on 20 shekel coin, then that's not good. Because really, as long as no 25 were given, then even zero I can't eat. It's all one block, all one package. Yeah, that's what we wanted to say. That's one side. Frektoy says Vim Toima. Now this is we're in for a surprise, and it has to do with the question that Tzvi actually asked a long time ago. Vim Toima Valo behekdesh. This compares to Meiser Sheni to Hekdesh. Yeah, both of them. What's Hekdesh? Let's makdish the phone to Beis Hamikdash. For Beis Hamikdash sake, I hope I don't. But let's makdish the phone to Beis Hamikdash. Now, let's say the phone is worth 100 shekel. That's generous. So how much do I have to give now? 125, right? 25 is a quarter of 100, right? 125. Don't 125. Oh no, that's not my bad math. That's no. A fifth of the Torah is really a quarter. Did you listen to yesterday's show? Okay, fine. A note from your mommy. Yeah, a fifth is really a quarter. That's been discussed already. That was already the maskana. So 125, I have to give 125, right? Because I'm the one who's getting it back from Beis Hamikdash. Okay. Now, Frektoises behekdesh shove mone shechilal al shve pruta mechula. Did you hear that? Toises says that if I have something worth 100 zuz, that's billions, that's a lot, and I was mechalel it on shve pruta, on something which is a fraction of it, it's mechula, like you thought once upon a time, right? This is against everything we've been learning till now. And Tosfos wants to compare them. Tosfos basically knows an assumption from different places that we don't care about the value. I can have Meiser, the fanciest grapes, Chardonnay, Bardonnay, Cardonnay, and they're worth, I don't know, 10,000. I'll be mechalim on one pruta. Life's good. So, I mean, I was surprised. Stamazoid. Tosfos is asking regarding chomesh. Umistome who adin the Meiser, says Tosfos. Meiser probably is like hekdesh. And therefore, who cares whether I was mechalel the 20 shekel lemons on 20 or 25? Anyhow, just a symbolic thing. So now, but the answer of Tosfos, we're going to get, yes, but this is very shocking for us. Because up until now, remember Chizkiah in his whole Torah? Of course, up until now, we saw that the value has to fit the value of the fruit of the, no question, to the value of the coin, right? No such thing. And here Tosfos is telling me, no, I can be mechalel $1 million worth of grain on one pruta. Answers Tosfos, v'yesh loymar. And then I'll also tell you the Rambam and other things to get the maskana. The Vadai, of course, im omar hu v'chumoshoy b'chulal pruta moil. Wow. If the person said outright, I want all 20 plus 5, 25 to be mechulal on one pruta, I want to use, I'm saying, specifying, I want to use the miser maslul. Like in the bank, you have different alternatives, different things, different plans. I want to use the miser plan. I want to take all 25 on one pruta that's good. Aval, if I didn't specify it and I just said the lemons, kedusha should go on the money without specifying, then it has to have the same value. Which means, so now I'm still wowed because it didn't seem to be that way. We open the other Tosasim in other places, we open the Rambam, and the Maskon is as follows. Midoraisa, if you were mechalel your $1 million on one pruta, the $1 million fruit can be eaten outside Yerushalayim, but of course you still owe the money to Meiser Sheni, and you'd still have to go to Yerushalayim with 1,000,000 shekel and spend the money there on burgers and steaks or fruit and vegetable. Yeah. To be more exact, the Rambam says midoraisa lechatchila way should be what? Should be value. Your 20 shekel on 25 shekel, your million. How much is a fifth of a million? A quarter of a million, and a quarter over, yeah, a million over a million, quarter, 25, 250,000. That's what you have to do lechatchila. But the Eved you can opt for what? You can opt for the Miser program. And you can say, I want all the value, knowing that it's worth more to be on Pruta. Says the Rambam, Rabbanon, even that, according to the Rambam, Rabbanon vetted that too. And Rabbanon said, if you do that, you still have to pay the extra later. You'll have to gauge, and then you'll have to pay the extra later. So if you do 1 million in one pruta, you owe money to Meiser Sheni. What do you mean I owe money to Meiser Sheni? You'll have to take 1,000,000 shekel cash, yeah, and spend them in Yerushalayim with all the kedusha of Meiser Sheni, all the conditions of Meiser Sheni. So in other words, Yehovah wasn't stupid. It's kilu. We have an option of being Meiser or being Poda, yeah, very a lot for very little. But then you'll owe the rest with the Rabbanon in the Maskon of the Rambam. Baruch Hashem. So now I'm back at ease and happy. Good? Happy? Yes. You want to ask now or you? Yeah. Good morning. What? No. You can open your mouth now. Yeah, okay.
No,
yeah. We're back to, by the way, Omar Ravina. Yeah, Leon, we're in Omar Ravina, Nun Daled, Omar Dalef. Line starts with Omar Ravina Toshma. We're going to do now Toshma, and I'm listening to you. Yes. So we're the question Toshma. The question again is: do we say that Meiser Sheni's chomesh is part and parcel of the deal? Which means what? That if I was mechalel my 20 shekel lemon on a 20 shekel note, then that's not good because I have to have 25 shekel note. As long as the chomesh wasn't included, then nothing was redeemed, and the kedusha is there, and I can't eat it outside Yerushalayim, right? Or do we say, no, it's zwei cheshbonis, it's two cheshbonis. 20 shekel is what I owe, and I'm good, and I'm a good boy, and I eat the lemons. And the 5 is a separate cheshbon to be given later. That's a question, this way or the other. Toshma, come and listen to the following Mishnah. Admai, again, our friend Mr. Admai, who's Mr. Admai, is not a sofek, right? Admai, it does mean do mai. What is it? You should know what to do with it, because this was something fruity bought from Amoretz, very nice grapes or lemons or avatiach. Yeah, you see somebody in, I don't know, 38, it doesn't exactly look like Baba Sali, only the picture behind him is Ravad Yosef, and you don't really know what the guy does, looks like an Amma Oretz, feels like an Amma Oretz, and therefore what do you do with this fruit? It's the Mai. You have to take Meiser, Midarabonon lechumra. Rabbanon were machmir that although most Amiratzim do take at least the basic Meiseres, you still have to be machmir and take Meiser from his things. But there are many kulas, many leniencies in Dmai that don't apply to real Meiser. For example, look now at Dmai. Ein lo chomesh. Dmai is no chomesh. If I bought those lemons from the guy, from who? From Amma Oritznik, and now there is Meiser Sheni that I have to take, but it's Dmai. And I have to take the Meiser Sheni. I don't have koch to go to Yerushalayim. Now I have a meeting tonight. And then what? What did I do? Ein lo chomesh. The 20 shekel lemons should be redeemed for 20 shekel 00, maybe a little bit of space, like Chizkiah. No chomesh has to be given b'chlal. No chomesh. Because it's Gzera de Rabbanon, and Rabbanon did not apply chomesh to their Gzera. It's one of the coolest of the Mai, because Mai is just Gzera de Rabbanon, and they were very lenient about lots of things. There are even many more things not even mentioned here. Then lo biu. What's biu? If you really keep your maestris well, you should do beer. When do you do that? In the 4th year and in Shemitah, in the 4th year of the cycle, and in the Shemitah year, you take the pruta chamura, you take the coin that your mechalel, your meister sheni, or the meister sheni itself in the times of Yerushalayim, the meister oni, whatever has to be done with the meister has to be mitzba'er. What's biur chometz? You don't burn it, and the biur, which means you have to do it. You have to finish it off. You have to bring it to its fruition. You have to bring it to its goal, which means you have a deadline. Oh, that's a word in English. Beer is a deadline. If you have meisters, if you like to push things, postpone things, like some of us, then what? You have meister from Shana Rishon, or Shniya Shlishis, meister Rishon, meister for the lady, meister Sheni to the Yerushalayim, meister Oni, Shana Shlishis, and they're still in your machsan, 2023. You can do that. You can store things in the machsan with a very good freezer for years. When's the deadline that you have to actually go and get it out of your house and bring it to your shalayim or the oni? When is that? By the 4th year and by the 7th year. When it comes to Dmai, there is no biur. Of course, you eventually have to do it, but there's no deadline. Chazal did not apply the deadline to their ma'aseh, the day established, which is Dmai. There are many other coolest, by the way. You can give it to anim, you can give it to Jewish soldiers, non-Jewish soldiers, all kinds of things. But what do we see? A keren yeshloi. You see that although there's no chomesh, but there's keren, which means ma'aser sheni itself applies to Dmai. And the actual 20 shekel lemons which are bought from so and so ma'aser sheni, I have to redeem for 20 shekel. My timer. So you see what? But the chomesh doesn't exist. So Chachami made a very clear dichotomy here between keren, which exists, and chomesh, which doesn't. Right? What do you see? My timer. Why is that? Why did Chachami make that differentiation? Keren de me'akev b'deoraisa isa b'derabbanon. A keren which min Torah is me'akev, and as long as I did not redeem the basic amount on the basic coins of the 20 shekel coin, then I can't start eating, not even one morsel. It's me'akev. Rabbanon applied that in their set of rules of Dmai. But chomesh, the loy me'akev b'deoraisa, a chomesh which even in the Torah is not me'akev, which means I can go ahead and eat all the lemons, and the chomesh is a separate debt waiting in the corner. Leisa b'derabbanon. Here Rabbanon said, because the Torah looks at chomesh less chomradik, with less stringency, Yemel Rabbanon b'chlal don't apply it. So what do you see? Hey, Mazel Tov. One side is clearly winning. That is what? That chomesh is an under a cheshbon. Chomesh is a separate cheshbon, and the keren is a separate cheshbon. Eat the keren because you redeemed the keren, and the chomesh is the separate debt in the side, on the side. That is very nice. However, says the Mishnah, the Gemara, lema ketanoi. Now we want to say now that this possibly itself, that question itself, is possible in Machlokes Tanoim, which by the way is not a problem because we didn't see any Machlokes Amayroim. We want to suggest Machlokes Tanoim, whether chomesh is part and parcel of the whole meiser, or is chomesh a separate thing? That's the question. Let's see now the question. The Tanoim. Let's see Machlokes Tanoim. Nosen es a keren, v'lo nosen es a chomesh. Hey, that's our guy. A person gave the keren, not the chomesh. He redeemed 20 for 20, and he conveniently forgot the 5, and he didn't yet give the 5. Can he now eat the lemons? Can he now eat the grapes? Can he eat the schayla? Can he eat the ma'aser sheni? Is it redeemed or not? Well, Rabbi Eliezer oimer yoichal. Yes, he can eat it. Rabbi Eliezer says, go ahead, eat it. The chomesh, separate cheshbon. Rabbi Yeshua oimer lo yoichal. Rabbi Yeshua says lo yoichal. Okay. Rabbi Yeshua says no, you can't eat one tiny bit, one morsel. You can't. Why? Because as long as the chomesh wasn't given, it's as if nothing was given. Chomesh is a vital, essential part of the actual pidyon. As long as it wasn't given, forget it, man. Can't touch it. You can touch it, can't eat it. Yeah. So that's the chomesh. Very clear machlokes tanoim. So what's your question? Clear machlokes tanoim. Omar, and we continue now. We continue even more to polish it even further. Omar Rebbe. Now Rebbe, at the end of the times of the Mishnah, is coming to voice his opinion regarding this machlokes, and he says like this: I agree with one person one way, and with the other person the other way. Let's Niren divrei Rebbe Eliezer b'Shabbos. I agree with Rebbe Eliezer when it comes to Shabbos. Divrei Rabbi Yeshua b'Chol. Very interesting. There's a difference between Saturday and the rest of the week. What does that mean? Rebbe says like this: let's say it was Friday, or even before Friday, and you redeemed you did the pidyon over the keren not the chomesh. You forgot the chomesh. Now it's Shabbos, and you want to have those delicious grapes for Shabbos. That's your Shabbos treat, your Shabbos fun. There's a mitzvah, potentially the oraisa of Oinig Shabbos. Zocher v'shomo, your Zocher could include Oinig Shabbos. In the details, minanov, it's a question, lo mishaneh, oraisa dorabonon. But the concept of Oinig Shabbos is important because it's Oinig Shabbos. Then a Yurad Belezer, you can eat the grapes, and when we'll give the chomesh later on. Mashen Ken, when it's a regular weekday and you just want to have the grapes, there's no Onig Shabbos involved. Then I agree with the Rabbi Yeshua that says, don't touch, don't touch it until when? Until you actually bring the chomesh. So what do you see? Rabbi says, I agree with him in the chol, and I agree with the other one when it comes to Shabbos, which means Onig Shabbos, which is, that's why I say it's probably the Oraisa, it overrides the other Chiyuv the Oraisa of giving the chomesh. Give me a second and I'll hear you soon. The Gemara now, so what if Rebbe said it? We're trying to get something from Rebbe to show you how vast the machlokes is. Says the Gemara, Mide Omar, since Rebbe said, Nirin Divrei Belezer b'Shabbos, I agree with Belezer when it comes to Shabbos. Oinig Shabbos, I want to eat the grapes now, is not some lowly base taiva. It's Oinig Shabbos, and I'll eat it now and pay the chomesh later. Then we'll mashma, that is to say, michlal, that is to say, the pligi afilu bechol, that he argues even bechol, right? I agree with him in Shabbos, mashma, that the pligi, they argue even in chol, and they agree with him on Shabbos. And because Rabbi said, I agree with Rabbi Shua in a weekday, when you don't have a real halachic reason to eat that fruit, then don't eat it and wait and bring the chomesh first. And only then, once you paid, then you can eat the fruit. Michla, that is to say, the pligi afilu b'Shabbos. You see that argue on Shabbos, which means they, Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Yeshua, didn't care about Shabbos or Chol. It's Rabbi's invention. Rabbi wanted to invent that idea that Shabbos would be a factor. Mashma, that they argue overall. They have a big Hadoraisidik argument over what? Dewey said that the chomesh is an essential part and just can't go on without that because the fruit are just still kodosh. You ever love the oraisa of lotuchalecho b'shorecha, or do you say no? You say chomesh is a separate cheshbon. The peiros are redeemed, are unholy, and the chomesh is separate. They'll thank you for your patience. My love, what really is behind mechlokas Rabbi and Rabbi Yeshua? Like I told you, the hosvara kamiflagi. It sounds like the svara that they argue about is exactly the svara which we were playing around with, which we're toying with. The Rabbi Lezer chomesh loy me'akev, as I told you. Ablezer believes chomesh is not me'akev. What's me'akev? Doesn't impede you from eating. It's not a necessary caution. Not caution. Not necessary. It's a precaution. Yeah. It's not me'akev. It's mechulal. And the chomesh is a separate zach. Shosov the chomesh me'akev. Now, B'shua believes that chomesh is me'akev. And as long as the last fruit of chomesh wasn't given, he can't begin to touch it. So, l'choira, our question, gufa, is machlokes tanoim. Yes. Okay. Exactly. At the request of the public, I'm summarizing. Again, if a person has, let's say, 20 shekel worth of Meiser Sheni, which fruit shall I choose now? Yeah, lemon. Okay, lemon. So then those lemons should be redeemed on how much? 25 shekels. Why? 20 plus a halachic fifth, which is fourth, that's 25. That's the way to do it. That's a good boy. Take the 25, go to Yerushalayim, get your favorite whatever falafel for 25 shekels, and over. Yofi. Shawarma also maybe. Now, what happens if I redeemed it without the chomesh? In other words, I was poida the 20 shekel fruit for 20 shekels, the 5 shekels, which is the chomesh, were not yet given. It seems to be mechlekas of Lezer and Rabbi Shua if that works or not, right? Rabbi Lezer says it works, which means the chomesh is a separate cheshbon. You have two separate payments to pay, and you can go on. It's not me'akev. You can go on and eat the fruit because the actual value was redeemed, was nifta, and the chomesh is a separate zach in the corner. Or says Rabbi Yeshua, no, lo yochel. Rabbi Yeshua says, don't begin to touch with your mouth those lemons, not at all, because those lemons were not nifta bichlal. As long as the chomesh, which is, I'm screaming now, part and parcel of the Karen, chomesh and Karen are one unit. The Torah Kilu said, if you noticed what the Gemara said before, in the Torah's books, 4 equals 5. You thought, I don't know math? It's not me. The Torah says 20 is worth 25. That's how it's translated. But yeah, that's it. Mimela, you just didn't give the money. You didn't give the money. I'm sorry, you still owe part of the debt. And therefore, not the debt really, I'm saying the pidyon. Therefore, your lemons are still kedushas ma'aser sheni. And if you eat them, you overlap the oraisa, Rabbi. So that's really the question. Now, Rebbe wanted to make a pshara, which again we'll see later. It's not so much the issue right now. Rebbe said depends if it's Shabbos or not. Rebbe is playing around with what? Rebbe says, I agree that it's me'akev. However, when it comes to Shabbos, the mitzvah d'oraisa of the karasa Shabbos oinig overrides the problem of Meiser Sheni, and you can eat the fruit on Shabbos and quickly after Shabbos give the chomesh. That's up until now. Now we're going to, of course, break it, but that's what we set up until now. Yeah, guys. No, what you no, okay. Get back to me in a few lines and tell me if you're happy. Okay. Now, Zog the Gemara, no. Omar Rav Pope. Omar Pope, line starts with Sova. Omar Pope loy. Says Rav Pope, no. I want to break and divorce the Machlokas Tanoim from the suffix that we had. It's two separate issues. Why? The Kula Alma, everyone agrees, both Reb Lezer and Bishu agree, chomesh loy me'akev. Midoraisa, you can say that both opinions agree that me'ikar din midoraisa, chomesh is not me'akev. Your 20 shekel can go to Yerushalayim and your fruit are completely redeemed and good. However, so what's Rabbi Shua's concern? Over here, what do we say? Did it ever happen to you? You pushed something for tomorrow, and then another tomorrow, and then another tomorrow? Never. But some people, it happens to them. And that's called pshiuta, which means if you're going to now eat your delicious lemons or whatever, or grapes or whatever, and you owe the chomesh to Ma'aser Sheni, you will forget. And that will be, of course, horrendous, because you do have to bring the chomesh to Yerushalayim. And that's a machloikes. So it's a darbanan dika machloikes. Who is concerned about pshia and says, don't touch it until you bring the chomesh, because even I agree, midoraisa, you're okay, you're a good boy, but we just want to make sure you don't move me'akev before you bring the chomesh, lest you forget to bring the chomesh. That's Rabbi Yoshua. Sova says no. Ablezer says no. I'm not concerned for pshius. I rely on people, and I know people can eat their grapes or the lemons any day of the week, Sunday to Shabbos, and all will be well. And I trust them to bring the coin of the chomesh later on. That's a machloikes. And as you can see, the little ches halacha is like Rabbi Yeshua, that he should not eat midorabanon. Don't eat the fruit before you brought the chomesh, lest you forget to bring the chomesh, and you'll forget for life. That's definitely bad. You're supposed to bring the chomesh. Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Now comes Rabbi Yochanan, and you should know that in this page we're touching on 3 different chomeshim. Yeah, before we continue to Rabbi Yochanan, a very quick quiz. How many times did you already see in this shiur or from general knowledge that a person has to bring an extra fifth? I can tell you 3 that we know already from. No, 5th, I need to have my tea. So you talk. Omar Rab Sheshes. Omar B'Yochanan, excuse me. Hakol moedim behekdesh shechilel. Listen to this. Hekdesh. Everyone agrees. Both Reb Lezer and Bishu would agree. Although they argue regarding Meiser Sheni, comes to Hekdesh, everyone would unanimously agree that behekdesh it's mechulal, which means I was makdish my phone, right? Then I redeemed it back from Beis Hamikdash and didn't yet pay them the chomesh. My phone is worth 100. I gave them 100 and redeemed my phone. Everyone would agree that I can owe the 25 shekels and use the phone. It's not Kodesh anymore. I can use it, break it, down the toilet, whatever I want, I can do with it. It's kedusha free. Okay? Everyone agrees to that. They argue on Meiser, but agree on Hekdesh. Why? By Hekdesh, someone, Hekdesh is strong people, Hekdesh has jacked people, and what do? They make sure you pay Hekdesh. Nobody says it's going to hit you, by the way. What do? They meet you in the marketplace and say, you still owe us the Hekdesh. And they would even confiscate your stuff, your belongings, until you pay Hekdesh. No chance you're going to forget it. Everyone knows the joke, right? About the old Jewish couple that went to a lonely island, right? Who's going to find us? All the tzedakah that we owe, we made our pledges to the temple, then they'll find us. They'll find us here at the end of the world in whatever, in Samoa. So now, Mimela, there's no issue here of forgetting. Mimela, everyone would agree, right? Behekdish, but Meister doesn't work like that. Meister, nobody knows that, oh, Meister. Who knows about my business? Me and maybe my wife, and of course the Schwigger. But who else knows? Yeah, nobody will force me. It's up to me. Up to me. Then Rabbi Shua was unhappy and said, no, make sure it doesn't eat it until it brings the death of the chomesh. But Hekdish, we don't need that. Hekdish has its own embedded system. By the way, why is it Bashuk? Because some Rishonim say that Hekdish is not allowed to go into your house. Just like a regular Balchov, it says in the Torah, it says you stand outside. If somebody owes you money, you can't go into the house to take the collateral. So to Hekdish, they only meet you in the shuk, not indoors. But it's still kind of embarrassing because you got to pay. Everyone agrees to that. Frag the Gemara, is that so? The Gemara is now attacking Rabbi Yochanan. Are you sure, Rabbi Yochanan? Are you sure that in Hekdish there's no machlokas of Blazer and Rabbi Yeshua whether or not I can use the watch or the food or whatever was makdish? Isn't there an argument if I was poid the Hekdish and I forgot the chomesh? Is it already Hekdish free? Yes or no? It's not a machlokas. Tanya, look at the brisa. Nothing is a keren, veloy nothing is a chomesh. What does that talk about? We don't know. You gave keren, didn't give chomesh. That could be one of the few cases. There are a few kerens and chomeshes around the world. Yeah. Rabbi Lezer says, l'shitosoi, as you said before, yes, whatever the case may be, yeah, it's mechulal. The keren took care of the basic, and now whatever issue the item has, hekdesh or meiser sheni, it's kedusha free, and the chomesh is a separate cheshbon. The chachamim are loy chilel. Chachamim who are now taking the place of Rabbi Yeshua, they say no, it's not mechulal at all. In other words, as long as chomesh wasn't given, then nothing really happened. Omar Rebbe, and again Rebbe is now entering the machloikes and deciding one way or the other, or basically he's choosing his favorites, so to speak. Omar Rebbe, nirin div Rabbi Lezer behekdesh. Says the Rambam here, hekdesh is food. If we talk about hekdesh, I agree to Rabbi Lezer. V'divrei chachamim b'maiser. I agree with Rabbi Lezer regarding hekdesh, and I agree with chachamim regarding maiser. So what do you see? Then, if you see that Rebbe agrees to Blazer in the case of Hekdesh, Michlal, that is to say, the polygophil of B'maiser. He argues also B'maiser, and he agrees only in Hekdesh. And if he says, I agree with the Chachamim regarding Maiser, also the other way, Michlal, and here comes the punchline, Dinu Pligafilu B'Hekdesh. Oh, Sisi Chachamim, who are strict like Rabbi Yeshua and say, hey, you're not moving. And no kedusha was redeemed until when? Until you give the chomesh. This did say in hekdesh, not like you, Rabbi Yochanan said that by hekdesh we rely on you, because we don't rely on you. Because the hekdesh is big people will come if they know where you live. They'll come to you in the shuk in front of everyone, and they'll ask you to pay your hekdesh fees, the chomesh. So therefore, it's mechulal without the chomesh, because we know the chomesh will be given because it will be forced. It's a very nice svara. It doesn't seem to be the running svara. We see that those who are machmir and say that the kedusha is not removed without the chomesh, they do say that even in hekdesh. That's not Rabbi Yochanan, and that's a mishnah against Rabbi Yochanan. And says the Gemara, early an answer, Ela. What's Ela? We change our minds. We change courses completely. We're not answering Rabbi Yochanan. We're changing the words of Rabbi Yochanan. Itmar hachi itmar. If you want to learn Rabbi Yochanan, that's the right version of Rabbi Yochanan. We're changing Rabbi Yochanan words. Must be you misunderstood Rabbi Yochanan. Yeah, Mishnah against Rabbi Yochanan, arm wrestling. The Mishnah wins, not Rabbi Yochanan. So what did Rabbi Yochanan really say? Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Akol moedim b'Shabbos. Again, Shabbos Kodesh wins over everything. Behekdesh. If, in other words, Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Yeshua argued all over the place. They argued in Hekdesh. They argued in Meiser. They argued Sunday till Saturday, till Shabbos, all along. Says Rabbi, says Rabbi Yochanan, says Rabbi Yochanan, I'll tell you when everyone does agree, not like I just said. Comes Rabbi Yochanan to exclude from what we just said, and says, no, Hakol Moedim, b'Shabbos, Behekdesh got the 2 points. Shechilel. In other words, when we have two mitigating, so to speak, circumstances, two reasons to be lenient, then everyone agrees. Both Rabbi Yochanan and even Rabbi Yeshua would agree that it's mechulal and you can eat it if the hekdesh is food. Why? Chada, one reason, the karosel l'Shabbos oinig. The karosel l'Shabbos oinig is a mitzvah oinig Shabbos. Because of oinig Shabbos, we're more lenient to eat the food right now. Shabbos is going to run away, and those delicious fruit are right there on the table. And what? And I gave the value to hekdesh, but not the chomesh. On Shabbos I mekel. However, I'm only mekel in hekdesh in Shabbos. Why? Hekdesh has another reason to allow me to eat before I gave the chomesh, because someone big and strong will make sure that I give the chomesh to the hekdesh, and these are hekdesh's people, which by Meiser doesn't exist. So Meiser with Shabbos is not good enough. Not good enough, yeah? Shabbos and Meiser is not strong enough, even though it's Oinig Shabbos. Everyone's for Oinig Shabbos. Oinig Shabbos has its limitations, yeah? My neighbors in Tel Aviv, all of them, each and every one of them would say, Oinig Shabbos is to drive to the beach. Oinig Shabbos, what do you want from us? Yeah, doesn't, right? So Oinig Shabbos has its limitations, and having a barbecue on the beach, I'm not sure is the Hashem's idea of Oinig Shabbos. I'm exaggerating. Here too, when we say about Meiser Sheni, Oinig Shabbos doesn't override that, because you may forget to bring the chomesh from Meiser Sheni. But when it's Oinig Shabbos plus the fact that someone will make sure give the chomesh, which should hekdesh as representatives, then says Rabbi Yochanan, everyone agreed in the Tanoim, even Rabbi Yeshua would agree that that's okay. So that's not against Rebbe. Now Rebbe himself, chutz mizeh, Rebbe wanted to say that he agrees with Rabbi Elazar Bekdesh always, even in Yom Chol. Zchuto. Rebbe has his own opinion, but doesn't contradict Rabbi Yochanan. Right? They argue on Hekdesh, and they argue on Yom Chol, and they argue on Hekdesh and argue on Meiser Sheni. It's just the only point where they don't argue according to Rabbi Yochanan is Hekdesh and on Shabbos. That's all. Now Rebbe can say whatever he wants to say, and Rabbi Yochanan is good. Everyone's happy. Yeah. Yeah. No, Metzia sheni. Hekdesh. You cannot. No. Metzia sheni cannot eat if you didn't give the chomesh, not even on Shabbos. Because Metzia sheni you'll forget and nobody will remind you. Shabbos Shabbos. Nobody will remind you. Who? Your shviger? No. Nobody will force you to give it. So you'll forget. Therefore says Rabbi sorry, said Rabbi Elazar. Rabbi Elazar allows, of course, always. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Rabbi Elazar allows always. Rabbi Elazar is always lenient. Rabbi Elazar says do what you want. Rabbi Elazar says we always trust you. Hekdesh, Shabbos, Chol, Meiser, do what you want. The chomesh will come later. Rabbi Elazar is a very easygoing opinion. That's Rabbi Elazar. I'm sorry. I thought you said Rabbi Yeshua. Now Rabbi Yeshua is stricter. Even Rabbi Yeshua agrees. Even Rabbi Yeshua, the stricter one, even he says if it's Hekdesh and Shabbos, there are two reasons to be makel. Sorry, are you okay? Are we good? Are we friends? Good. If I'm friendly with you, then my life is good. And these are two more questions, then continue. Yes, thank you. As Rabbi Yaakov reminded me, I'm not even sure you meant to say that, we must say at this point the Rabbi Yeshua that allows you to go ahead and you can eat the actual fruit, because we know it's Shabbos, we're more makel, and also we know that Hekdesh's people must be the reason it's only the Rabbanan, not the Oraisa, which means you're not over anything. Rabbi Yeshua said the reason why I'm standing with my 2 feet and I'm sticking to my gun, don't start eating, don't think of eating before this, it's a Rabbanan, may you come to forget. However, if Rabbi Yeshua would have said like we originally thought that it's the Oraisa, then of course that wouldn't work. Because if there's an Issa D'Oraisa to eat the fruit without giving the chomesh, then you can have Shabbos, Shmabos, you can have Yom Kippur, you can have Yom whatever. It doesn't make a difference. Very good. And Chinami. That's what Rashi pointed out, and thank you for the reminder. Are you good? Yeah? Yes. Rabbein. You're together. The peanut gallery, all for one, one for all. Oh, yeah, Leon, yeah. Right, let's continue. Yeah, Hare Omru. Rabbi Bachom comes with a new statement. What do you mean, new statement? Up until now, let me give you a small intro. Up until now, we spoke about numbers, about quantity, not about quality, right? 20 versus 25 million versus 1,250,000, all very nice. Now the question is quality, which means those three cases we talk about, the way you pay it, the way you pay hekdesh, the way you pay the stolen truma that you ate, for example, and all those things, there's a way to pay it. The question we're going to now mention is, do we say that chomesh is the same quality like the keren, like the principle of money, or does it have a different quality of money? Let's see. Says Rami Bar Chome. Amar Rami Bar Chome. Rei Omu. They said, Hekdesh en mischalel al karka. There's a din in the Torah, yeah. Hekdesh, of course, can be makdish karka, but you cannot be mechalel hekdesh on karka. Let's say you were makdish to base a mikdash, very, very nice, a bunch of diamonds worth $1 million, okay? Makdish to base a mikdash. A woman was makdish a jewelry to base a mikdash. A woman told me today she wants to makdish all her jewelry to base a mikdash. I hope you're not running into trouble here, luckily. Yeah, to base a mikdash. Okay, very nice. Now, how do you redeem those jewelry with what? Preferably money, and give it to base a mikdash. You can also redeem it with what? Toys, books, socks, and shoes, but not with karka. You can't redeem it with karka. You can't say I'm buying it off the diamonds from Beis Hamikdash, and in return I give Beis Hamikdash my land. That you cannot do. Why not? Because the Torah says so. The Rachmana Omar, it says in the Torah, "V'nosan hakesef v'kamloi." It says you should give money, and then you get the hekdesh back. When he talks about redeeming from hekdesh in the Torah, it says "V'nosan hakesef," kesef money. Thus it says there's klal upatu klal in the pasuk, money or things similar to money, that is things that move. Just like money is an object that's moved around and movable, so too other movables metaltalin, but not karkois and also not avodim. The karkois good friends and no stores beseder. Now the question is, chumoshoi mashi ischalal karka. Ooh, let's say the lady, she donated and actually gave mamish $1 million worth of jewelry to Beis Hamikdash, and she redeemed, and she's this person who's makdish. You understand where I'm getting at? I'm wrong. It says the woman doesn't have to give chomesh. I saw in the Rambam, I was like, again fainting. The Rambam says, I'm not sure about all chomoshim, about this one, a woman doesn't have to give chomesh. I don't know if it applies to both Ma'aser Sheni and Hekdesh, or one or both, but a woman doesn't have to, because there's ish velo isha. A woman gets a reduction. She doesn't have to give chomesh. Yeah, male chauvinism, mafitom, the other way. Now, okay, not fair. So now, let's say a man was makdish his jewelry, I don't know, his stuff, his coins, million to Beis Hamikdash, and he redeemed 1 million for cash. Very nice. Is that good enough? No. He has to give another. He's the same person with makdish, so he is the one who has to add chomesh. The 250,000 he wants to give from piece of land. He has a piece of land in Nahariya worth 250,000, and that's what he'll redeem the diamonds for. That is that doable or not? That's a question. The question is, if I gave the keren for good money, the chomesh, does the chomesh also have the stipulation? Now I understand what I meant quality. Do you have the same quality? Do you have the same stipulations that it has to be only other stuff and not karka also applies to chomesh? Or maybe chomesh is different qualitatively, not in quantity. That's question number one. Question number two, truma. Truma en mishtalem esrel min achulin. Oh, let's say I went to Yaakov's house full of truma, b'mei rabot beis mikdash. Yaakov, it was a real mistake. By mistake, I stole from you the truma, that you have to eat, truma gdoila, and I didn't know it's truma. Maybe I knew that I'm stealing. I didn't know it's truma, and I ate the truma by mistake. What do I have to do? I have to return Yaakov the basic. It was a cluster of grapes. I have to give you back a cluster of grapes plus the chomesh. Now, that is an interesting halacha here. So, truma ein mishtalem esrel min achulin. What does it mean from the chulin? If I stole from you a cluster of grapes, I have to give you back fruit that are chulin, fruit that are already gemeisered, regular fruit that any Joe Schmo can eat, not money. The only return that I do if I ate by mistake the truma, not if I didn't eat. I stole and ate it unknowingly, not knowing it's truma. I have to give back the same value in shape of fruit. Could be other fruit. I stole grapes, I can give you peaches, maybe. But Lamais, I have to give fruit and no other things. Okay, that's the halacha. That says in the Torah. The Rachmana Omar, look, the Torah says, "V'nosan lekohen es a kodesh." You have to give back Mr. Cohen that you stole the thing from and you ate the truma from him. You have to give him kodesh. What does it mean kodesh? Dover haroy lias kodesh. It has to be fruit that can become, here kodesh means truma. It has to be something that's related to truma, that could potentially be truma, which is regular fruit. I can't give him cash, no. Can't give him toys, no socks and no shoes, and not diamonds either. He'd like diamonds, maybe no. All the other fruit, very nice. And now the question is the same question again. First, what land? The question is the same question. Choimsho maushi shtalem shiloi min achulin? Question mark. What about the chomesh? Let's say I stole from Yaakov 20 shekels worth of grapes, and we all know that I have to give you now 25 shekel worth of grapes. Now we're going to discuss the value later, but Lamasa 25. Now the 20, I gave him other grapes or banana or mango or kiwi. Banana is a vegetable. But Lemaisa, what about the extra fifth, the 5 shekels? Do we apply the same stipulation there too? Let's say the 5 shekels. Sorry, Yaakov, I don't have fruit for 5 shekels. Here, can give you a 5 shekel coin. That's a question. Do we say that the quality, the stipulation that the Torah gave on the basic return, does that also apply to the chomesh, and also that I have to give only in the shape of fruit, or no? Or maybe that I can give in cash. Maybe give you a 5 shekel Chinese toy, which is really worth nothing. Now, third question, Meiser. We're doing now PhD on all kinds of chumoshim here. Chamisha chumoshim. Meiser. We all know that Meiser Sheni, our good friend, he is a home field player here. What do we know about Meiser? Can I go and be Meiser? In other words, can I take my grapes in Ramat Bet Shemesh and they're full of kedushas Meiser Sheni? You can see the kedusha emanating, and take the kedusha and redeem it on an asimon. Simon, remember that Simonim? Some of you do, yeah. It has to be a minted coin. Everyone here are seasoned scholars. Frag the Gemara, Meiser ain't mischal Simon. You can't redeem the Meiser, take away the kedusha, and place it on a Simon, which is an unminted coin. Cannot do that. The Rechmone Oma, the Torah says, "V'tzarto hakesef beyadecha." Bundle the money in your hand in a bundle. But tzarto also means what? Tzura. L'rabes kol davar sheyesh alav tzura. It has to be a coin that has a tzura on it, that is minted, that is embossed, that has the picture of queen, whoever, somebody on the coin, but can't on an unminted. And of course, the question comes again: Chum shoy mauchi schalala simoin. 20 shekels already dealt with a very nice coin. They have extra 5. Can those extra 5 be redeemed on an asimon? Because a simon is nice and is worth a lot, but it's just not minted. So that xeris the cost may not apply to chomesh. Yes or no? So these are 3 questions which are really all one, right? Answers the Gemara is galgel milsa, the word rolled over, which means the rumor of the question happened to come to the doorstep of Umatel Kamei Rove. Rova so inadvertently heard the question. Omar Lehu, he gave one answer that fits them all. Omar Kra Olov. The Yosef Chumoshe Olov on it. The chomesh, when the Torah discusses chomesh, it says olive on top of it. On top of the keren, on top of the principle. That comes to tell me that the chomesh should be the same as the keren. And therefore, let's summarize. So, when it comes to hekdesh, and Mr. Richman Gvir, he donated $1 million jewelry to Beis Hamikdash, he now has to give $1,250,000, right? All $1,250,000 should not be redeemed on karka. All of it, including the chomesh, should be redeemed on what? On money and other things, not karka and not avodim. What about the second case of the truma? You stole truma from the coin and ate it without knowing it's truma. It was worth 20. You have to give 25, all in the shape of fruit. Fruit, and only fruit. Go down to the Merkaz Mischarit and get 25 shekel worth of it, all of it, including chomesh, should be fruit. And the third case is a simon. And a simon, if you want to redeem your kedushas ma'aser sheni, not go to Yerushalayim, that's great. Make sure all 25 shkolim, everything, including the chomesh, should be redeemed on proper coin, of the 10 shekels, of whichever shekels. That's all. I'd like to continue a little bit. Okay. Omar Ravine. Afanana mitnina. Ravina says we too learned a Mishnah that supports what we just said. That chomesh has the same quality as the basic, as the keren, as the principle. Agoinev truma v'lo yacholo. Oh, this is very, very tricky and interesting. It's not hard. It's just, let's say a person, let's say someone went to, not Yaakov, don't wish it to new Yaakov. A person came to Mr. Cohen's house and he stole knowingly. He knew that he's stealing, but he didn't know it's truma. He thought he's stealing some fruit from the person. He stole the truma and did not eat it. You guys, all of you Bava graduates, tell me, what should the guy do now? Pay what? Pay how? How much does he have to pay? Hmm? He stole 20 shekels worth of fruit, did not eat them. So what does he have to pay now? How much? 18. Yes, 18. No. There were 18. There were 18 because we don't say Moed B'Knas Potter because then you're going to ruin the case. There were 18. 18 came and saw that he stole, and now he's standing in court, and they say he stole what? And the winner is Joe. Whoa, double. You forgot the basics because you're so much into chomesh. Hey. There's basic stuff here. Kefel, meaning he wasn't moide. Moide B'Knas Potter. He wasn't moide, and therefore he'd have to pay kefel. It's all very nice because the whole business of and how does he pay it? Not necessarily from the fruit. I mean, he pays the fruit back. The fruit still exists. They didn't eat them. That's case number one. He stole the fruit like a nice cluster of grapes. Give back the grapes worth 20 plus another 20. Cash. It's kefil. Nothing happened, guys. It's regular gnevra. He did not eat. Oh, once he ate them, everything changes. I'm breaking the case on purpose. Not me, the Gemara does. You stole fruit, give back the fruit for heaven's sake, plus another kefil, another 20, nice 20 shekel note. Yes, the red one with the woman's picture. But how much does he pay? Dmei truma. What does it mean, dmei truma? Oh, the grapes in your house, no offense, Mr. Cohen, are worth much less than grapes in other people's houses. Why? Because the market for truma is very low demand. I'm not a big mumche in those things, but even I know, as the Gemara says, when there's a very small market for something, it's not worth a lot. Because only koyanim can eat the truma, and they are a fraction of the nation, right? It's high quality, yeah, but not quantity. And therefore, what? Those grapes in the market may be worth 30, but the coin it's worth 20. So the Gemara just points out you pay the grapes plus 20, not 30. We gauge it if the value of a truma torah is cheaper. However, what happens if he ate the grapes by mistake? Anybody knows now what happens? He ate those very same grapes, and now there is in his tummy, yummy, in the tummy, not so yummy. Had he done it b'meizid, what would be the halacha? If he ate truma b'meizid, and he's a zar, he's a non-kon, he's chayiv what? No. Misa b'rei shamayim, and the winner is Yaakov. Misa b'rei shamayim. Voy. Unless he does tshuva. He did it by mistake. What does he have to do? Well, bring chomesh. But he also stole. He has two cheshbonos. When let's follow him slow motion. The camera, the CCTV watches him slow, nice and slow. When he stole it and he did meshicha from the house on the grapes, he's chayiv what? Kefel, and that doesn't change. Once he ate it, he's chayiv what? Chomesh. So now what does he have to give back? The basic that he has to give is what? Fruit. So now wait a second. He'll have to give. He stole 20 shekel grapes, yeah, and they're in the stomach now. Yummy, but not spiritually yummy. Now he'll have to give 20 shekels worth of other fruit, apricots or whatever you want, because he ate. And for eating truma b'shoigeg, it's not ben adam l'chaver, ben adam l'makom. You have to give now fruit, but the kefil he has to give in cash, because that's the old cheshbon from when he stole. And he also has to give chomesh. He has to give the basic, plus kefil for the theft, plus chomesh for eating truma b'shoigeg. So that's keren, and chomesh. Look at the Gemara calls it. Ochlo, he ate it. B'shalem shnei karnaim b'chomesh. Not shnei karnaim, 2 horns, but 2 karens, 2 basic amounts, 20 in the shape of fruit and the chomesh, plus 20 cash as the kefil for the theft from before. That cheshbon didn't go anywhere, right? And therefore, now listen to the punchline. Keren b'chomesh min achulin. The keren and the chomesh, the 20 shekel plus 5, he has to pay how much? He has to pay how? From chulin, meaning from fruit. So you see that the fruit and the chomesh are paid the same quality from fruit, not from cash. The keren made truma, and also the other keren he has to pay the kefel. He has to pay with cash because a ganav is a secular thing. He doesn't have to give dafka. Doesn't have to give from the fruit. When he stole it and he pulled it, stam kefel. It's nothing to do with truma. It couldn't be in a computer. Kefel is cash. It's a secular thing, so to speak. The holy stuff begins when he ate it 5 minutes later. He ate the grapes. Then he becomes chayiv when the grapes dafka in the shape of fruit. And the chomesh is also in the shape of fruit only. That 25 he has to give the guy. Shma mino, turn the page. Chumash chomesh shma mino, nekuda. Must be, we see that the chomesh has to be given the same quality, the same style, the same type like the keren, all in one go and all in the same way of fruit and not money. I told you it's an easy Amud. It is not really. It's easy. Don't steal from a coin. Don't steal in general, especially not from a coin. Right? Yeah. If you dafka want to steal, yeah, let's go offline.